And let me share my screen. Boom. Everybody can hear me?
Yes, we can.
If I pause as I'm speaking, it's because I'm busy letting people in. So hopefully next week we get that sorted and we have an admin handling the crowds. All right,
Is
so
it possible for you to give me the access real quick, Kevin?
I'm not sure that I think the conclusion was that we couldn't do that in Google Meet, or we didn't know how to do that in Google Meet.
Okay.
So we were gonna.
I'll tell you how to do it in Google Meet after the meeting over.
Oh, okay. Because we were gonna switch over to Zoom anyhow next week. So we're gonna give us a couple of days to figure it out. All right. So anyhow, we'll get started. And first thing I wanted to talk a little bit about, and I know some of you guys are probably tired of hearing about it, is Patreon. There's a lot of confusion. We've seen some comments on the groups. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about it again. But there's a lot of confusion as to how the Patreons even work. So rather than kind of take up time today to discuss precisely what you need to do once you do sign up, I've created this video. So if you go to All Things Creative there on YouTube, I created this video that it kind of walks you through and explains how to get the various files that are part of the paid Patreon. Because believe it or not, it's not as obvious as it should be. So anyhow, this breaks it all down and really explains it all in detail. But I did want to talk about one other thing because it's been a topic that's come up just this past week as it relates to Patreon, and also a lot of private conversations. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot of private conversations with people messaging me, messaging my, and as best we try to explain, it's not quite getting through just yet because we still get lots of questions. So I have a $20 Patreon and Maya has a $20 Patreon. And I think if you look at it from this perspective, is whoever you choose to support, her or I or both, what you're really doing is you're helping us help you. That's all you're really doing. You know, it's like a pledge. Say, okay, I'm pledging $10. In my case, I do have a $10 and $20 tier. I think my does maybe only has a 20, but anyhow, you're just pledging to say, hey, I appreciate this, and this is my contribution to propel you forward. Because what happens is, especially as often as we're doing these training classes, we have to take time away from our business making money to do these training classes, which is okay, right? Because we're getting a little bit on the backside. So if you just look at it from that perspective, you're allowing us to take time out of our day to provide these training classes for you for free. Whatever other benefits you get in the various two different Patreons, those are just bonuses, but they're significant bonuses, in my opinion, because both of us are producing enough files during our classes, and we try to be mindful of what we actually show you so that at the end of the class, you have something that's sellable, multiple things that are sellable to your customers. So when we're deciding on things to show you, we're mindful of that. Well, is that something that they can then go and sell? And that's, and we've done a lot of those types of things. I just did a big Patreon dump last night. I know Maya's got a bunch of new files up on her site too, just in the last day or two. So there's plenty of stuff on the Patreons that should more than cover that $20 expense that you guys have. And so her and I were talking about it maybe like a week or so ago. It's like, what else could we do to kind of ease that burden a little bit, make it a little bit easier? Because we're nickel and dime to death. Trust me, I know it, because I've got more subscriptions than I can count on two hands. From different TV things and just all kinds of. So we're nickel and dime to death. So then that's when we came up with the idea of one major giveaway every month as a thank you for continuing your support. So on July 4th, we're really excited about taking advantage of the bamboo sale coming up to purchase the P1S. So on July 4th, we're going to try and be as transparent as we can be as far as the drawing goes. So nobody thinks we have any type of favorites. Whoever wins, wins. There's only about 100 between the two of us. There's maybe like 150 Patreon members right now. So the opportunity to win the printer is significant. And if you choose, we are going to offer a cash prize as well. If for some reason you're swimming in printers and you just don't want the printer, then we will offer a supplemental cash prize as well if you prefer that. So anyhow, that's why we decided to do the giveaway. It's just a kind of a thank you back to you. And if you are in both Patreons, then you will get a entry for each Patreon that you're in. So you'll get 2 entries instead of just one if you're only in one or the other. And of course, you don't need to be in both either. The budget doesn't allow, or you just don't want to be. No one twisting your hand. You don't have to be in any Patreon for that matter, right? But I think that's what the beauty of this community is that we're all like-minded folks, and everybody's pitching in. It's like almost like you're crowdsourcing, some trainers. So everybody's pitching in a few bucks, and then we're able to teach everybody, whether or not they have a few bucks to pitch in right now or not. So I think it's good for everybody. So it's a win-win for everybody, and that's what we want it to be, is a win-win for everybody. The one sticking point is that, and there's really no way around it. If you are my Patreon member, anything that I produce during the lives, I'll post to my Patreon, and you will have those files. And likewise with anything she produces during the lives, she's going to post on her Patreon. So if you are only subscribed to one or the other, then you're not going to get their files. So that's the one tiny negative. So, but hopefully you see enough value that you are a Patreon member on both sides at some point anyhow. So that's it. That's the end of the speech. Now we're going to get to the nitty gritty, but I just wanted to try and, reemphasize that one more time. All right. So our last class has been posted to my YouTube. So you can see that there. I haven't got the files posted from the last class yet. But yeah, so this video is the Patreon video. If you're struggling with getting your lid to fit on your hat box, which a lot of people still are, I made a video on that, try to simplify that for you guys. So yeah. So what I thought we would start off with tonight is converting, and I think we might do this every class, and that is converting a few images to SVG. And I think this process might surprise some of you anyhow. Now some images, like for example, we're going to be using this Hello Kitty one tonight. This is what I would call a very simple image conversion, right? That shouldn't be that complicated to convert at all. But there's other ones, like there's other ones that can be more difficult. For example, like this image. So how are we going to convert that to a 3D printable image, right? So there's different ones. This is a really interesting one. There's a little tiny microscopic postage stamp that could be difficult to turn into a 3D printable image. Some of these are images that I actually have to do, and I don't know if some of you have seen the, if you saw the basketball lamp that I just posted. I used this shoe as the source image, and then I also used this just do it image also, and converted those into an image that I could then convert into an SVG. So those are some of the images that we're gonna work through here. So I thought we would start right here. So this is a really good website. There is no demo to this website, so you just have to buy it. I'm going to give you a demonstration right now. If you wanted me to just run your image through this to see what you get, before you make the commitment to pay for the membership, I'd be happy to do it for you. But it's $10, and it does a really good job. So we'll start with the Hello Kitty. So we're just going to drag and drop her. And the original image was really good. So you're going to get a really good SVG out of it. And when we're using this, we just want to make sure that we're stacking. We choose to stack our shapes on top of each other. And then I have all these checked. And then down here to group by color. This will help us in certain instances. So we'll go ahead and download it. And we'll save it. I'm going to save it to my desktop. And then we'll do right here. And then we'll just hit save. All right, so let's go ahead and open up Inkscape here. We'll start a new design. We'll just take a look at that Hello Kitty SVG. We're going to be using that in a project tonight. So where is she? There it is. So first things first, we'll ungroup all. So we just right click and ungroup all. And then you'll notice here, there's a whole bunch more groups. So we're just going to right click and ungroup all until we don't see any more groups. And so you see we don't see any. So now we can just come in here and delete the bits and pieces that we don't need. So that was the original background. And we could delete all of those. And then what I like to do when I'm setting up my SVGs like this is I like to just turn off the pieces that I know we're going to keep for sure. So like the pieces of her bow here, we select one and then shift click these others and then just turn them off. Now we can, because we are going to just go ahead and combine those as one piece, we can do that right now. Just go ahead and hit Control+ to bring those all into one piece. And then we can go ahead and rename it. So that's not a bad idea. We double click on our layer name and just type in what it is and turn it off. Let's see here. Okay. Keep getting dings, so letting people in. So then we have our white piece here. And then we have this piece up here in the upper corner. So we'll go ahead and hit Control plus. Now what we're doing is we're performing, when we hit Control plus, we're performing a union command here at Inkscape, which you can also do from Path and Union right here. And you see that keyboard shortcut? It reminds us what the keyboard shortcut is, Control plus plus. All right, so now the eyes, let me slide this out just so you can see this. So you see the white? So our eyes are sitting on top of the white. And in our case, we don't want that. So we want to take the eye and the outside of the nose, combine those together, Control plus. And the reason we want to combine those together is because you can only have one cutter. So one cutter at a time. So we'll go ahead and combine those, and then we can shift click on the white, and then we can hit Control minus, and that is cut, or what it's called difference. But see, now you have holes in the white. So path, and that's difference. Control plus minus. So really those two you really should know, because it really makes the design process easier. So we're going to call this white head, okay? And we can go ahead and turn it off. And then we have the nose, double click, and there's the nose. We can go ahead and turn it off, and then we just have the back plate here, what we call the back plate. Okay, and we turn that off. So everything else, the mystery pieces, we don't need. So we could just select one, shift select, and get rid of them here, or of course we could just make a big selection and hit delete. Okay, so now that particular image is ready to go. So we'll hit Control S, and then we'll go to our class folder here, and then we'll just overwrite this Hello Kitty and hit save. And yes, we're going to replace her. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn on all these layers again, and I hit Control S to save it one more time. So when you guys, hopefully you're going to do some homework and try and duplicate what we're going to do with her a little bit later on. But if you just start with this SVG, you can skip the image conversion. You can skip what we're doing here in Inkscape and go straight to Bamboo. That's really where we want you to be first. We want you to get that Bamboo side of things nailed down, because I truly believe that is the easiest part of this process of taking an SVG and converting it into a model in Bamboo. I really believe that is the simplest part of the process. So if we can have some success there and know that inside and out and backwards, then we could take a look at converting SVGs and understanding the whole Inkscape process of things. So let's go ahead and start a new document here, because we're going to need it. And let's take a pretty big leap. I think it's a pretty big leap. And let's look at this image. So this is kind of our, what I would call our bread and butter type project, right? Of converting something like this into an SVG. Maybe we want to make a height chain or keychain or who knows what we're going to do with it, but we want to convert this into an SVG. And if you look at it, it's not particularly good, you know, as far as images go. It's not real high quality. There's a lot of fuzziness in it, and Inkscape does a miserable job of converting something like that to, you know, something like this to a full color design. But there are little tricks that we can do. So let's take a look at a little trick here. So let's go in here. So we're going to borrow chat here for a minute. She's ready to go for us. This is an amazing tool. When we're talking about AI, you know, a lot of people don't like AI, but this AI, she is really good to us. So let's go ahead, and I think I'm just going to drag and drop an image, right? Boom. Right in here. And really, it's all about what we ask her to do. So in my case, I'm just going to do something really, really simple. And that is to clean So we're going to say clean up this image and remove all color, leaving a black and white image on a solid white background. I don't know if you guys saw my picture that I posted earlier to the group. I did a New York Knicks lamp, and in the prompt, I asked the chat to have a Knicks game playing in the background against the Spurs late in the fourth quarter, and Knicks were up, with the score was 118-96 or something like that. And the image that it gave me was a TV in the background with the Knicks and the Spurs, and late in the fourth quarter, 2 minutes ago, and Knicks were leading 118-96. So it was just kind of funny, like how specific you can get, and it'll actually give you what you ask for. So I do pay $20 a month for chat. It's totally worth it. But I have to look at my Creative Fabrica account because I think chat I paid a whole year in advance, and I think it might be included. I don't really know. So that's what it gives us. So if we compare that to the original, okay, it's not too bad. So it's a little bit different than the original, but it's probably workable. So let's go ahead and click on this, and right click and save image as to the desktop. And I guess we can go in class. I'm going to force myself to keep everything in class files. Otherwise, we'll call it Colton conversion. Now, here's the thing about these chat files, at least on my computer. Inkscape does not like chat PNG files. It drives me crazy. But we have to go in and open up the file and just resave it. So we click on that little button, save as, and we'll save it to the desktop as a JPEG. That's the only thing we have to do. But you can see here what chat gave us. So when you zoom in real tight, look, crisp, clean, perfect artwork. So yeah, so it did a really, really good job of converting that artwork for us. All right, so now we can go back into Inkscape here and see what the next step is. So we'll import that JPEG that I think I must have saved it to the desktop, because there it is. So there's our image. Like I said, you can see it's really nice, clean image. And when we have nice, clean black and white images, it is very easy for us to turn this into an SVG file. So we just right-click, trace bitmap. You'll see it'll produce a result like that. You can play with the slider, but when you just have black and white, basically it's just this slider more or less in the middle. And that will give you a nice, clean artwork. So we'll hit apply. And there it is. Nice, clean artwork. Now from there, what do we need to do from there? Well, from there, what we're going to do is we're going to break this apart. And so we're going to come up here to path and break apart. And this would be true like of every image that we're doing. There's just a few things that we have to be mindful of. The first thing, the very outside will always be the topmost image. Your silhouette will always be the topmost path. So we'll just give it a color. Do you see that there? You can hit the N key on your keyboard. That will send it down to the bottom of the layer stack. Or we can come up here to Object and lower to bottom. and it does the exact same thing. Puts everything down. Now, the next thing that we have to be mindful of, some of these pieces we know just by looking at what's what, all right? But see how like his face is all solid? So there's some pieces inside of there. So if we go into outline mode, you see all these pieces. Those are what I call islands, okay? So these pieces aren't connected to anything, right? So, so just kind of be mindful of that. But I want to start with the obvious ones first. So, but I do want you to know how to switch back and forth. So up here in the view menu, display mode, you can go between normal and outline. We have a video, if you search for it on our channel, just type in Inkscape setup. It's a short video that talks to you about setting up your Inkscape, the shortcuts, Alt Q that I use, and also just the interface itself. And there's a couple other things too, how to zoom in and out with your mouse, certain things like that. But yeah, so definitely check that out. So your Inkscape is more or less the same as mine. It makes it easier to follow along. But what we're going to do is just start in with the pieces that we know of what's what. Okay, so for example, his shirt. In fact, let me do this. Let me just pull this in so you guys can see it. So this is our image. Okay, so his shirt is red. So we can even, now that we have the image in place here, we could even come up here to, this is our layer and strokes, and we can click on that first one as our fill color, and we could grab our eyedropper and sample that original color. Okay. Now, once we have that done, and we're done with it, we could just go ahead and call it shirt if we want to. It's not a bad habit, but then turn it off. Okay. And then we can move on to the next thing. Now we'll go into outline mode here, and I'm going to delete. Chat added this. This was not part of the original design. Chat added those in. So we're just going to delete the outlines, and this will be more representative of the original design. Okay, so now you just have that. So now we can come in here and figure out how we're going to select that without selecting anything else. So now we have all of that. Now this is a path that's separate from this. So this is an island. And anytime we have islands, we have to use combine, not union. They kind of do the same thing, but not. Islands are handled differently when we do combine. So we're going to, let me just go back out here so you can see what I'm talking about. So you see what that looks like? But because there's islands and we hit combine, Control K, ta-da. So now we have our original text and it's all one piece. And we know that that's going to be yellowish, right? So let's go ahead and name this Colton. Now we can turn off the visibility because that's done. And I did something I shouldn't have done. You do have to hit enter. After you have to hit the enter key. I went and clicked on something, and so it didn't keep my layer name. But obviously, Colton has to be on top of shirt. So we just manually moved it up one layer. Okay, so we kind of go through that whole process with all of these pieces until we don't have any more pieces. So this piece here, you notice, right, is the armhole. So we could take this piece, shift click this green piece, Control minus. All right. So then what do we got going on? Well, we've got some yellow armbands and some white hands. So we can go ahead and select these. I'm just clicking one, shift clicking the other, and we'll change that to white. Control plus to make those two objects one, and then we'll just type in hands. Now, when we get into bamboo, you want the least number of pieces to deal with. So in that situation, we don't want two individual hands. We just want to combine it together. Now these, you can see they're comprised of many pieces. Shift click over here, right? We wouldn't want to have to handle each one of those pieces. So Control plus, that's union, puts them all together, turn those yellow, and then we can name it whatever we want. So I'll just call it armbands and turn it off. Okay. Now, if we look at this original image, that little thing there, that, all that stuff is yellow. So if we come down here and even, yeah, let's see here. Yep, that's his waistband there. So let's start with the waistband. Take a look at that. Because the waistband, I believe, has islands. So you see the islands? So there's a bunch of them. So let's go ahead and select everything there. There's all our islands. Control K. And now if we go back and look, you see all those islands were now cut out. So I think everything down there, yep, yellow, 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 yellow. It's all yellow. So shift click a leg, shift click this piece, shift click the leg, shift click that, Control plus, and yellow. So it looks like we missed a couple. So we'll go ahead and shift click those again. Control plus. See what's going on here. What if we turn that off for a moment? Let's go ahead and we'll call this yellow parts. So that's yellow parts. Now let's see what is going on here. Oh, that's what was going on. They were already combined. So we have that. We can control click on yellow parts, Control plus, and that will union those into one piece. And so if we turn that on, those are all now yellow. Okay. Now our socks down here are white with shift control. So we click on one, hold the shift key for the other. Those are white. And we already have white, right, with our hands. So we control click on hands, Control plus. And so now if we open that up, you see? And then we have our shoes. Okay. Again, we click one, shift click the other, and we know those are red, which is also our shirt color. So we can control click on shirt, Control plus. So if I turn that back on, there's our red. So we're getting down there. We're almost done. So now we have our wings. And if I turn that off, you can see there's more parts of our wing. So we're just going to go ahead and select everything. Now, in this case, we could use union or we could use combine. I'll just use combine, Control K. And then over here, this, we look at the original image here, is red. So we'll go ahead and take that little piece and we will find our shirt, control click on the shirt, Control plus. And now that's taken care of. So then we could go in and I'm going to show you another little selection trick. And that involves, we are in the selection tool. So that's the S key on our keyboard, or you can click on that little icon right there. But if we hold the Alt key down, you see what we're doing? We're drawing this red line, okay? So sometimes if we have, a strange shape, we can do it this way. But whatever crosses over that red line, that's what gets selected, okay? Now, right now, this green is selected because our red line crossed over the green. But if I hold my Shift key down and click on the green, that takes that away from the selection, only leaving the wing parts. So then we could go ahead and hit Control K. And so now these two wings will come together. We could do Control K again. And this is our wings. So there's our wings. And then we'll go ahead and turn those off. And we could go ahead and turn those white as well. All right. Now, basically, we've got our hat to go here and then our face. Now, our face, I think we should be able to just select our face and go ahead and combine. Control K. And that should get that done. Now, it looks weird because it's not white, right? And then this face can go with our wings. So we'll control click that, Control plus, and probably we can put all of our white together in the end, but we're not going to do that just yet. All right, so now what do we want to do here? We have to make, because of the way this image was converted, you see here where we have this little detail here. I'm not going to worry about that too much. It would be easy enough to go back in and modify our shape to include that. But like I said, I'm not going to worry about it too much. So what I'm going to do, that piece, I'm going to go ahead and make it the yellow color because the C that's underneath it. So let's go into outline mode here. We'll go ahead and move that, just drag and drop up to the top here. And then we can go ahead and we'll give that a red color. So you see, so that C is going to be red. All right, and then the button here, I guess the button is, we'll call the button red. And then this will be red. Let's see, we don't have an even number here. So, well, we have an even number, but let's go yellow and yellow. And then we'll just do red and red. Okay. All right, so that basically completes our conversion here. So now we can go ahead and put that back to black. We should go ahead and combine all of our yellow bits. So select the big one, shift and shift, control plus, and then also our red one. So we'll do there, shift and shift, and control plus. And now let's turn everything on. Now we just have to make an adjustment here to our shirt. What do we do here? Uh-oh. We may have to back up. No, our shirt's still there. It's just not called shirt no more. Now let's take a look at it. No. What's going on here? Oh, I know what happened. It got changed to black. That's what happened. So it was fine where it was, but it just the color got changed. So let's just call this shirt. And then you see, I like this color better than the red. So we'll go up here and we'll select all of these. Now we can't combine. This is something else that's really interesting to think about, is how this is going to print. We can't add the C, even though we want it to be the same color, we can't add it to this object. These others we could, but we're going to print black, and we're going to print white, we're going to print yellow, and then the C is going to get printed on top of yellow. But the other red parts are going to be printed on top of black. So that's why we can't combine the C to the other red parts. So these we can, though. So we can go ahead and take this one and this one. So we got that one and this one we can combine. Okay. And so this is our red piece now. And we'll turn that off. And then, yeah. So now let's just go through the layers one more time, make sure we got everything. So starting down here, that's our back plate. And then our next piece, I'm turning it on and off. I don't see anything happening. So that piece we can delete. That does happen sometimes. There's a little tiny piece somewhere that we don't see. So there's our red, our yellow, our white bits, the other yellow. So actually, we can combine all of the yellow. The only potential thing that you might want to consider is when we go to print, would we want the option to either change the color from other yellow parts or change the thickness? Did we want to print these thicker than the other yellow parts? That would be one reason to keep it separate. But otherwise, we could just put it all together. And we only have basically one piece when we go over to bamboo to assign. Then we have our wings, and then our hands, which really could be combined with our wings. So that might be something we do. And then our Colton text, and then our C. So you can see, and in real time, actually doing that in real time is like maybe a 15-minute job. Like it's not a big thing. But now we have perfect vector. We can easily convert into a 3D print. We can use it to print shirts, make embroidery designs. You can do all that in Inkscape. So lots of flexibility once we have, we can get DTF prints, whatever. So make stickers, you name it. That's one thing, they talk a lot about, well, just go into Maker Lab and image the keychain. And yes, but they won't give you a perfect SVG for future use. So we'll just call this Colton finished. Save. All right, let me find an image. I meant to do it earlier, but see here if I can find it real quick.
Hey, Kevin, can I add one
Yeah.
thing?
Mhm.
You don't mind? Just for people on a Mac, when you get the image out of ChatGPT and you open it, it opens in preview. Preview does not have a save as function to resave it. You have to export. There's an export function. You have to export it as a PNG to resave it. Just a little
Mhm.
heads up there.
All the more reason to not be on a Mac, right?
No.
I know we won't get to convert it. I did use actually a Mac for a little while, but
And actually, one other thing, I don't know if you're going to get to it in anything. When you get to it, can you explain object to path? That's the only thing. I don't know when you use that or not.
well, object path you have to use any time that there's any type of special effect applied, or if it's text. So if we're doing offsets, it's the most common thing. Or
Oh,
any path effect. We do offset path effects, and corners really are the only major two. So anytime that there's one of those applied, I think and really none of these others we use for the most part. But yeah, those two we use all the time. So then we would use that object to path to set the value. And then if you had text, you can't take text and import into Bamboo as text. So you have to convert it out to a path, and that's where object to path is.
I
So,
got it. Thank you.
yeah, so that's all right. So I'm going to go with one more design here, and then we'll get into the project of the night. So let me go back into chat, because I just want you to almost, let me just say this about chat. This is a tool that you really should have. If you're going to be making designs, it's a tool you really should have. And not only for doing your mock-ups, but it's an amazing tool. It's $20. If you don't buy it, if you don't pay for it, my A thinks there's a conspiracy. It deliberately gives you crap. But I haven't experienced that necessarily. But you are only limited to a number of image conversions per day or per week. I don't really know how, but I know you are limited to the number of conversions. But I thought this would be an interesting one to look at, just to really, like I said, we'll look at some more examples tomorrow night. But I saw this and I said, hey, that's pretty cool. And so I'm just going to drag and drop it here. Okay, gotcha. Oh, I see why. All right. So this is just something random image I found on the internet, and it's just somebody's sketch, just somebody's idea. And I just thought it looked kind of cool. So let me pull it up big so you can see it. So you see what that is? Like, it's just a sketch. So what we're going to ask chat to do is we're going to ask chat to clean this all up and turn it into a 3D printable, ready for vinyl cutting image, and see how good a job it does at converting this. I have not tested this on this image, but I just wanted to just to see how good a job it did. So we're just going to say to clean up the image and convert to a 3 to 4 color image suitable for 3D printing or vinyl cutting. See what we get. So generically speaking, any image that we are trying to convert to an SVG can be better done, easier done with the right prompts by using chat. So what I'm saying is really every image that we do, that we convert, we should run it through chat first and figure out what we can do. But you can see what we've got here. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna save this version. And then let's dive a little bit deeper here, just for fun, just to give you an idea of what we can do here. So you could see the original image is pretty badass, but I want to add some color. So we're gonna tell chat to add orange color to basketball. And then we're gonna add blue color to NY and orange color to Knicks. Let's see what it does. Now, obviously, we could add the color in Inkscape pretty easily, but I just wanted to see what it could do here. That original conversion, wasn't that pretty amazing what it did there? So see there? So now we get this. So we'll go ahead and click on it. Now, you see there's a little bit of black remnants
I know.
around.
But then again, it's a possibility because
So you see these little bit of black remnants around the orange lettering. So I think there's a little bit around all of the lettering.
um
So
Shakia, can you mute your mic? Shakia.
they homes the program that she's trying to go through.
Shakia Palmer.
And she said that they said that they're trying to get everything done so she can go into the pool.
there you go. I got it. Thank you for
Thank
that call out. So we're going to ask chat to clean that up. So remove small black lines around all. We'll be more specific around NY and Knicks. Because if we get a nice, super clean image, then we can take it into the vectorizer AI and it will do a better job of converting it into an SVG for us. If we leave that stuff in there, then more than likely that vector AI will see it and try to render it when we actually don't want it. So it'd just be more work for us. So now You can see how nice and crisp and clean, like really nice graphic now, right? So we'll go ahead and save this to the desktop. And we'll just call this NY sketch. Save. So let's go ahead and go into Vectorizer AI and pull over a new image. Kia, you're probably going to see this on Temu tomorrow, won't you? I did a design the other day, and Kia said she saw it being sold on Temu on a T-shirt. Like, well, that was quick. All right, so we're just going to save this. I'm just going to save this to the desktop. We'll go back in. And we'll import it. There's our sketch. First thing I noticed, I'm not sure if it's just my eyes, but that doesn't look totally round. And it bugs me. So we're just going to squish it a little bit. I think that looks a little bit better, a little more round. But anyhow, first thing we're going to do is ungroup it. This is what I would consider a simple image. So we're safe to ungroup it, even though it's going to be lots and lots of pieces. So we'll just right click again and ungroup again. You can see there's quite a few pieces to the puzzle here, but we'll make short work of it here. So we're going to take a nix here. So remember, we click one, shift click the others, control plus, turn it off. I'm not going to even bother renaming things. We could, let's do this. Let's turn these off. Really what we should do is we should just create a new layer for our new piece of art. So that's it, best practice. So go ahead and create a new layer. Go ahead and turn that back on and just take all of this, right click, move to layer 2. And then it's better practice just to turn off the original layer, so we're only focused on this. But this we'll go ahead and turn off now again. And then we can just click here and right click and choose select same and fill color. So now we've got all those pieces, control plus, and we'll just turn that off. What do we want to do here? Let's turn that back on a second, because I have these pieces, this black. Let's see here, is that one piece? Let's see, this piece right here. No, those are all individual pieces. Okay, we'll come back to that then. We'll come back. So the next piece that we want is the NY. So those are just 3 blue pieces. Control plus, actually these are individual pieces. So we got to go that and that. So we select one and then shift select all the others, control plus, then we can turn that off. We missed one, so we'll add it and then control plus again. Now we got them all. So you remember those little black lines I was telling you about? I thought it would try to render those. It tried rendering those. So we don't need this white background anyhow. We'll go ahead and get rid of those. And I saw one over here. All right. So that takes care of that. So now we need just this white piece. Let's see here. All right. And then this piece and this piece. Let's see here. Yep. These are all one now. See that? And then this piece. We'll go ahead and add that to that. Control plus. And we can turn that off. And then we should add this to the whites. Is it that one? Yep. So we can add that to that. Control plus. And then turn it off. All right. So let's take a look at what's left here. So we'll go into outline mode. So it's just that stuff. So this piece, we can go ahead and cut out of our silhouette. So control minus. And this piece down here, we can do the same. Control minus. And I believe the rest of this, let me just look at it all together here. Yes. So the rest of this we can just get rid of. So now we have our backdrop, we have our white, we have our orange, we have our other orange, and then finally our blue. So that will print beautifully. So we'll go ahead and save this, file and save as. We'll call this the NY sketch finished. So now, again, we can turn it into a height chain, make a real pretty lamp out of that, something real unique. We might do that tomorrow night, who knows? But, you know, we can make it into whatever we want to make it into. Diego makes it into the house. All right, so that is conversion 101 for the night. So let's go ahead and create a new document here. And we'll talk about our little project for tonight. So the first thing I want to do here is import our Hello Kitty design. I was toying with the idea of doing Toy Story also, but we only have time for one, so we're going to go with this one. There it is. I know I stuck it in here. So this was the conversion that we did earlier. Who doesn't love Hello Kitty? All right. So what we want to do is, I know you guys have probably seen my toolbox lamp, and Manya did a little vanity, a little sorority vanity that she posted to the website today. And so what I want to show you is how to go about creating drawers, something with drawers, something with function. I feel like if you have something like that with drawers and function, that's kind of an elevated piece that you can ask more money for, but it's really, really easy to design here in Inkscape and create the 3D model in Bamboo. Like this is a seemingly complicated project that is actually going to come together pretty easily for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to create like a little vanity piece for a little girl's dresser or something. We're going to put some cute little feet on it. And to make our feet, we're going to have to dip our toe into Blender. But I promise you, I picked this project out because this is dead simple that you can accomplish with zero knowledge. So you just have to dive in, sit down, take an hour, and confident you'll make it happen. All right? So first things first, let's create a rectangle. So we just hit the R key on our keyboard here in Inkscape. We could come up here to the rectangle tool and just drag out a rectangle, however big you want. Then we have to define how big our little vanity is going to be. So in our case, my build plate is 256 by 256. So I like to make everything 240. That's my magic number. So for the width here, we're going to go 240. It's going to be our magical width. Okay, so that's 240. So obviously, she's got a really big head. So now, what are we going to do about the height? So 2 inches is 50 millimeters. So I think I want it just a little bit bigger than 2 inches. So I'm going to make my overall height 67 millimeters. And that equates to about 2.5 inches. All right. And then, so this is how big my little box is. So that's kind of my first step. So now what I have to do is I have to decide how big a drawer do I want. And for me, I'm just going to go with put the drawer right in the middle. So here's what we need to do. We need to create a piece that represents the top of our box and our sides and our bottom. Okay, so we'll just grab a rectangle, draw it out, give it a different color. So I just hit the R key and drag out a rectangle of any size. And then hit the S key, that'll switch you back to your selection tool, or you could come up here and just select it. And then for the width, we want to do 4 millimeters. That's what I usually make my box sides. So then we have snapping turned on. So right up here in the upper right hand corner, there's snapping. So if I move this, it's just going to snap to the side of the box here. And then up here, we can just drag it down and it's going to snap right to the top. And this one's going to snap right to the top. All right. And then so we can go ahead and select this and Control D will duplicate, or we could right click and duplicate, either one, and just pick it up and move it over and it's going to snap. Control D, pick it up, move it over. Now, see that vertical red line? What that's indicating, the horizontal one indicates that we're centered horizontally, and the vertical one says that we're centered vertically. That's where the two differences are. Okay, so let's move this. You should see it snap. It did snap, but I'm not certain that that is center. But we can double check it. So shift click the brown one, come up here to our alignment tools, and make sure relative to the last selected is always selected. And then if we hit that, that's center. Okay, so that's the center of our box. So then we need to do the same thing up top. So we're going to duplicate this, click on it, that'll allow us to rotate it. If we hold our control key down, it will snap to 15-degree increments. So then we can just move it into place. Snap it right to the top edge, drag it over here, and I overlap them. See how they're overlapped over there? That's fine. Doesn't matter that they're overlapped. You don't have to do that, but it's okay if you do. Your slicer will figure that out when we get to slicing. All right, so now we've taken care of that. Now I'm gonna go off the beaten path a little bit and show you something a little bit different than what we already have. So I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna back it off. Back it off to there. So it's gonna go all the way back to here, okay? And then I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna drag it down to here. That just happens to be halfway. Then I'm going to grab a rectangle and I'm just going to drag it over here like this, grab my selection tool and drag it down. So do that, drag it down to the top of this. So we're snapped over here and we're snapped over here, right? So I'm just making this a little bit more difficult just so you could see, okay, I can see how all this would come together. All right, so now we're going to, where this pink rectangle overlaps this kind of brownish color, we're going to get rid of it. So shift click the brown, control minus. So now that's what we got, okay? So when we get over to bamboo here in just a moment, you're going to see how all this makes sense. But we have to kind of repeat this whole process for our drawer, okay? So we're going to go ahead and grab a rectangle, and we're going to start by just making it the same size as the inside area. Let's go ahead and give it a different color so we can see this more clearly. And then what I like to do is I like to give us 2 millimeters from the top and side to side. So it's currently, you can see here, it says it's 59 vertically. So let's just change that to 57. Okay, and then horizontally, it's at 114. So we're just going to change that to 112. So when we go to put our drawer in, we're going to have 2 millimeter gap up top and then 1 millimeter on each side to be able to open and close our drawer. Okay, so that takes care of that. But now we need the rest of our drawers. So we're going to come in here and we're going to duplicate one of these. And so for my drawer, I also make those 4 millimeters. So we're just going to pull this back here to there, duplicate it, Control D, slide it over. And then we're going to duplicate it again. Click on it to rotate it. Horizontal, and we can overlap them or not. I typically will overlap them. Just like so. Okay. So now, remember before I said when we go to bamboo, we try to minimize the number of pieces we go to bamboo with. So if we look here, you see we have all these pieces. And really, it could be greatly simplified. So this piece is 1. That's going to be the back of our little vanity. And then let's start here with the side of our drawer. Shift-click the bottom, shift-click the side, Control+, which of course we know by now that that is path and union. So that's our drawer side, so we can go ahead and just turn that off. That's our drawer front and back, so we could turn that off. Let's see here. Let's see, we turn that off, and then our drawer front, we can turn that off, and then we have just those pieces, which those can all be 1. Control+. Okay, so that takes care of that. So pretty much all of our heavy lifting is now complete as far as creating all the geometry that we're going to need for our 3D model. Now there is one more thing I want to do here, and it doesn't matter if it's a circle, a triangle, a square, whatever. I want to put some geometry in the center of our drawer for our eventual drawer pull. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and just drag out. It could be an oval, a circle. It doesn't matter, you know, what the shape of it is. But we just want something there. We use XY positions a lot in bamboo, and that's all we're doing here is giving this something to specify the XY position. So you'll see what I'm talking about here when we get to it. So I'm just going to take this circle and shift click this green square and then come up here to my alignment tools, and we're going to do horizontal and vertical. That's eventually where our drawer pull is going to be. What are we going to use for our drawer pull? Well, I decided, let's see here, is that in a group? Yes, oh, that's on layer 1. Okay. So what I decided to do here is we're going to ungroup it, is to take these, and this is going to be our drawer pull. Okay, so we're going to duplicate that. We're going to scale it down to the finished size of our drawer. If we do it from the corner and hold our control key down, it'll do it proportionally. But you see how that circle is roughly, let's make that circle a little bit smaller, this red one. So we're just going to make it a little bit smaller. I like that. All right, so now we can center that red circle up. So this is going to be our little drawer handle, but we have to add a little bit to this. So let's just pull it away. And what we have to add to it, obviously, is an offset, right? Because otherwise, if we 3D printed this, these pieces would not be attached. So we've got to make those adjustments. So we're going to come over here to our layers palette and duplicate. Go back to the back one and apply an offset. Now, we don't really know how much, but based on history, we're going to start with 1.5. And let's give it a green color so we can see how much offset that is. And I think that's enough for what we want. So we're going to run with it. So hopefully Zach's paying attention, because now we have to go object to path, because we've applied an offset here. So if we were to save it as an SVG and import it into Bamboo, Bamboo would completely ignore this live path effect. This is only visible by Inkscape. So we have to go to path and object to path. Okay, so now you see those values go away, and now we have just path data. So there, that's going to be what it looks like. So we're going to go ahead and we'll group this together because there's two pieces, and then shift click our knob here, and then we'll go ahead and align those up horizontally and vertically. And now our bow is right dead center. And then we can, just for fun, we can ungroup that, but we don't really have to if we don't want to. All right, so that concludes our little vanity setup for the artwork phase. Where are we going to put her? Well, what my initial thought was, and I don't know exactly how we're going to incorporate her, but what my initial thought was to make her the full width of the vanity. But now maybe I won't, because we ultimately decided to do something a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push her down something like that. I think that can look cute. Okay. And so we're going to go with that. Now, is this in a layer or in a group? I mean, it is not. So that's not in a group. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab a rectangle, and we're going to come right from this corner right over here. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to shift click the black, and we're going to combine that together. So you might be wondering, what in the world? So let's go ahead and just combine it together. And then what do I want to do? I want to go ahead and grab another rectangle, do the same thing. We're going to stretch it so it snaps to the top, though. And right where the white is overlapping, we're going to chop her head off. So we've got this white rectangle, shift click the white, control minus. All right, so that's what we've got for the back side of this vanity. And if we look here, this is what we have. Okay, so that's our separate little plate. So that's just going to get tacked on to the back. So you see where I'm going with that? And then that'll stand up and down, and you'll see how it all comes together here in a minute. And then we're going to add some cute little feet in Blender. So we're going to do that too, but we'll get this part made first. So let's go ahead and save this. So I'm going to hit Control S, and we'll do Hello Kitty Vanity. And I guess we should make sure that that black is not over 240, which, yeah, we're not in danger there. And then this is 240, the overall width, but plus some whiskers over here. So we're good. All this will print on our build plate. So is there anything that somebody wants to see or ask about here in Inkscape before we pop over to Bamboo and build the model? Are you guys awake?
Yes, we are.
Definitely
No
awake.
question.
Good paying attention.
All right. So now dive into the fun part. So this is what I recommend. I recommend you take Hello Kitty Vanity SVG, go into Bamboo, and build the model that we're about to build, and nail that down. And once you get that done, then we can come back to Inkscape and master what we just did here in Inkscape. But if you think about what we did here, we created a few rectangles, we did one offset, and that's really all we did, right? I mean, there's nothing, we didn't even scratch the surface of what we could do in Inkscape. Very, like, if you know like 5 tools, we can accomplish literally 90% of everything we need to create. Like, it doesn't, it's not, I know there's a lot of stuff in here, but it's really not that hard. I could tell you this, I'd have no clue how to take this and do this in Tinkercad. I don't know a thing about Tinkercad or Silhouette Studio, but I know here it's pretty simple. So anyhow, let's go over to Bamboo here. And I guess we'll save the changes. And build us a vanity. So Control I. And go to the desktop here. Where is she? There it is. Okay, so that's it. So the first thing that I would suggest we do is, and usually this is what I suggest we do, is find the sides of our vanity. I don't know which one of these it is, but we're going to look for it. There it is. That's our sides right there. And so this, we're going to go to the scale tool and we're going to turn off uniform scale and we're going to scale it up to $1.50. So we're going to go 150. So you see our vanity come together? Just that quick. All right. And then let's find the back of our vanity, which is probably that piece right there. So let's go ahead and make it 4 millimeters. And we need that to be sitting on our build plate. So we know that we take half the geometry, which is 2. So go to the Move tool, and that would sit at 2. So now you can see, because the XYZ is always from the center of the object. So that's why it's 2. So now you see the back of the vanity there sitting on the build plate. And now you can see we have a hole, right, for our drawer to slide into. And you can already see the back plate all come together. It's all going to all come together. So, so the next thing we want to do then is go ahead and start building out our drawer. We got to find our drawer pieces. So, and it you know, it probably would be helpful if we name these pieces. So that's the nose. What's this one? That's the bow. You just click on the layer name one time, and that's how you we're able to name it. And this is our back plate. Okay. And so the back plate is going to be black. The head is going to be white. So you see here, color number 2. The bow is yellow. So we'll do color number 4. And let's change color 6 to kind of a light pinkish color. We'll make that our little bow 6. And then our nose is going to be number 4. Okay, so for the head, we're going to go ahead and make it 2 millimeters thick. And then the bow, we're going to go ahead and make 2 millimeters thick. And by the way, we could, if we want all these to be 2 millimeters thick, we could select them all by hitting Control key here to select multiple pieces and change the thickness of all of them at one time. We don't have to do it one by one. So this is what our back, our box back. And then that is our sides. And this is our drawer front. We'll just call it our drawer front. Now, we did not make a separate object for the back drawer. So we'll go ahead and copy and paste this. So Control C, Control V, and we'll call this the drawer back. And then we can just drag and drop up the layer stack here, and we'll do our drawer back, then our sides, then our front. Doesn't have to be that way. It's just what I decided to do. But the drawer back and control click the drawer front, both of those are 4 mil thick. Okay. And then our drawer sides. Now we have to do a little bit of math here. No demonstration would be complete without me doing some math, right? So what do we want to figure out? So for the drawer sides, the whole box is 150 millimeters deep. And we have 4 millimeters on the front and 4 millimeters on the back of the drawer. But we also have 4 millimeters of the back of the box. So we really have to take 150 minus 12. All right. Hopefully that makes sense where we're getting those values from. So that is the max depth of my drawer. So 150 minus 12 would be 138. Okay. But I like to have my drawer have a small reveal here. So actually the drawer front will sit back of the box here. And I'm going to show you why when we get there. But so we're just going to have it set back just a little bit. And we're going to use 3 millimeters. Okay. So we were at 38. So we're going to back it off to 135. So this sides is going to be 135. Let's see. Nope. Grabbed the wrong piece. I knew something didn't look right. So let's see here. Where is that piece? That's our front and our back. This is the sides of our box. See, that's why I just put sides, and I should have put box sides. Then it would be less confusing. All right, so that's the back of the front. There's our sides. So we'll call this drawer sides. And now that could be 135. Now, I think ultimately it's going to be easier for us to put the drawer together out in space. So let's put it out in space. So we're going to take our sides back and let's move it into outer space. So we're going to move it into outer space. Okay. So yes. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's just go ahead and assemble the drawer out here first. So we're going to select the whole assembly, and we're going to use our assembly tool, an amazing tool. So we click right there, and then we click the face of our drawer and zero that out. And so now you can see that our drawer is perfectly flush with our sides. And then we do the same thing to the bottom, essentially. But we're going to select that face and this face and zero that out. Okay, so now that is all one piece. What we're seeing here is this back plate for our Hello Kitty. So I'm pretty sure that's the only piece that's left here is the Hello Kitty pieces. So let's go ahead and finish that off. We'll just leave our box right there for the time being. So that is our, must be our knob for our drawer. So we'll move that up, and then let's find our two pieces of our bow. Let's go ahead and move those up. And let's go ahead and assemble that. I think that'll be fine to go ahead and assemble this. So with our drawer pull, first thing we're going to do is pull this up into space a little bit. The reason we're doing that is I need to see the bottom of that. So we're going to click here for our assembly tool. And I need to be able to see the bottom of this knob in order to select the face and zero that out. All right. So then on our, and I'm pretty sure that that's going to be all white in the end, but we're going to go ahead and alt click on this. Let's see what we got going on here. Let me click. So you see how that one piece gets smaller. So I'm guessing this will be our pink, and then this is going to be white. All right. So both of those, let's go ahead and make it 2 for both of them. So 2 millimeters thick. And then let's go ahead and take our pink piece and we're just going to move it up. So this one right here. Yes. And then we're going to use our assembly tool to put all that together. So let's select it, go to the assembly tool, we'll click the top of our knob and the back side of our white, and zero that out. And then we'll come over here. We can hit escape once. See how that wants to turn red? We hit escape and escape again, and now it's blue. So now we can select that face and this face, and we can zero that out. So now our drawer is complete. But I do want to change those pieces to white. So I'm just going to alt click on one of them, and then we can click here, change those to white. And we need to change our knob. So I don't think we have our knob named yet. Nope. So we'll just change that to knob and then change it to white as well. So now it's coming together. Let's go ahead and change our box here to white. That's going to be white. And then also the back. So box back is going to be white. So the only thing that we have left to deal with is the Hello Kitty bits. So let's come down here. I think it's just 2 pieces, right? Let's see here. It'll be our white, our nose, and our bow. So let's find out where those pieces are here. I'll click on our back plate here. There it is, head, bow, and nose. Perfect. So the back plate, we're going to, let's see, what are we going to do for thickness on that bad boy? Let's do, let's go ahead and let's do 3 millimeters. I think that could use that. And then we need to put all those pieces on top of that plate. So we are going to take our head and our bow and our nose, and we're just going to slide it up. And then we'll go ahead and use our assembly tool to assemble all of those. So go ahead and select that and grab our assembly tool, that one on the back side of white. We'll zero that out. And then we kind of have to do the same thing, but we're going to select that and our bow. And then finally our nose. And all of that sitting on top of black. So you see there? That's what it's going to look like. So now we can go ahead and add some build plates. And I think for right now, let's call it good there and pop over to Blender and make our little feet for this guy. So we're going to save this, Control S to the desktop, and yeah, we can leave it like that. Anything questions up to this point that somebody wants to see again, explained better? Anything at all?
Well, for that Hello Kitty piece looks like it goes through the drawer like a divider.
Yeah, because she's not in place yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the feet on, and then we'll set it up on the desk, and then she's gonna get glued, because this, remember that black plate underneath is gonna get glued to the back side here.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna move her into place when we stand her up.
And there's no way because obviously Bamboo's not a modeling program, so to speak, to round off the corners on this, right? You'd have to do all that in Blender and build it in Blender, right?
Yes and no. So when I say yes and no, we could take the finished product into Blender and round over those edges. We could, or we could also, and let's see here.
I don't want to confuse it,
No, I was just thinking if I could do it easily, and I think I can. So let me just give you an example here. So let's start a new file here, because we're going to show this in a later class that totally focuses on Blender. We're going to make that. I keep saying it, but we're going to do it. We're going to have a Blender class on modeling the hat gift box, but we're going to make it smaller to fit on an A1 Mini. And but we're gonna do the initial geometry for the hat box here in Inkscape, mainly because I'm more familiar with the drawing tools of Inkscape, and then we'll take our SVG that we create here in Inkscape, and we'll take that into Blender to actually model. But we're going to start with the existing geometry from Inkscape. So in this case, what we're talking about doing is taking this piece, right? Just that one piece, and we'll just copy it, paste it to the new document. Just as a side note, you know how earlier we turned off a bunch of pieces, and then when we bring it into Bamboo, Bamboo ignores all those pieces we turned off. In Blender, if we had a bunch of pieces turned off and we save this as an SVG file, Blender will still see all those pieces. So that's why I took it from one drawing, copied it to another. Now there's nothing else in here. So now we can hit File and Save As. We'll save this to the desktop here. And we'll just call it Vanity. And hit Save. And then we'll talk about that when we get into Blender here. So any other questions as it relates to Bamboo and what we did so far? No other questions. All right. We're going to bring this bad boy to life. All right. So now let's just go ahead and pop over to Blender here. Now this is absolutely something you can do. I promise you. You ain't going to have no problem with this one. All we're going to do is make some cute little feet. That's all we're doing. So we're here in Blender. And Blender is a lot like Inkscape as it relates to 3D printing. There's like a million options, but we need like 5. So we don't need all million options. We just need a few. Just a few basic things that we got to know, and we can create some really cool stuff really easy. So they'll have some people checking in. All right. So all we're going to do is we're going to add a mesh cylinder. This is where it all begins, adding a mesh. So we can hit Shift A, and you see we can say mesh cylinder, or we can come here, which is add mesh cylinder, either one. So there's our cylinder, okay? And so now this is an object mode, and when we hit Tab, that takes us into edit mode. And there's 3 different options here in edit. We can do edit by the vertex, we can edit by the edge, or we can edit by the face. Okay, and the keyboard shortcut to switch between those 3 is probably pretty useful. It's just 1, 2, 3. 3 being face, 2 being edge, 1 being vertex. All right, so that's how it works. So we're going to hit 3 because we want to select a face. And we're going to select the top face of our cylinder here. And then S is scale. So you can see here, how easy that is to make a cute little foot. Just like that. All right, so that's it. Now, if we wanted to make this taller, maybe you want like some tall legs, I don't know. Then to move this face is still selected. We would hit the G key. Woo, woo, woo. See there? So that could be cool too. So we can not only have some cute feet, but we can have them splay out a little bit. So that could be kind of fun, right? So we could do something like that. Do you see how that would splay out a little bit? So then what we could do is we want to round that off. We just talked about beveling. So we want to round this off. So to do that, we're just going to switch over to edge mode. So we would hit 2 and just come in here and double click on an edge. And so you see what's happened here? It grabbed that whole loop all the way around. Okay. And now we can go ahead and hit Control B and see how we can add the bevel. Now at first, let me exit out of there and just change the view so you can see this. Control B. See how it's like it's doing like a chamfer, right? But if we come in here and just use the wheel of our mouse, we're adding what they call segments, and then that can smooth that off. But see, you can just move it up and down, and usually I use like 6 to 8 segments. So once you've done that, you can come down here on the bevel, and you can see we've got 8 segments. 8 segments will give you a nice round, smooth variation here. Now, if I tab out of here, that's what we've got. Pretty cool little foot, right? But you see these facets? That is going to render. If we were to export this right now, that would render just like that. And so we don't want that. We want nice, smooth as glass. So we would go in and add a subdivision modifier. Then we do that by clicking on this little wrench icon, and we're just going to click Add Modifier, and we're going to come here, Generate Subdivision Surface. Okay, now we got issues, folks. Look what it did, right? So that's not going to work. I did that just to show you. There's one more thing we have to learn. Let's just go back over to edit mode. We're still in edge select mode. We need to do something to this edge so Blender knows not to mess with it. So we're going to just double click on it. And we need this. We're going to hit N. That brings up the details. And you can see here we're on the item tab when we hit N. This right here, this crease, we want to set that to 1. That's it. That's the magic. So now it's going to go ahead and subdivide everything else, but it's going to leave our crease alone. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's go back in, generate our subdivision surface, and let's tab out so we can see it. So you see here there's less facets. You can still see some facets, but there's less. So we want to bump this up to 2. And now she's as smooth as glass. And you can see that bottom edge. It didn't mess with the bottom edge. Bottom edge is still perfect. That's it. That's it. We're getting out of Blender, I promise. So, but I really would encourage you just to do some homework in Blender. Blender's totally free. And just try to make that little foot. And follow those steps that I just gave you. And just experiment. And once you have some success creating this little foot, then that will probably encourage you to do other stuff too. So anyhow, file, save as. And I'm going to give you the Blender file. So I'll save this to the desktop and we'll call it Vanity Foot. And we'll save. And then we will export this as an STL file. Now, if we wanted to, we could have given that leg a specific size in Blender, you know, an actual physical size. In this case, it doesn't really matter. We can scale it however big we want it when we get it over to Bamboo. So I don't really worry about it here in Blender as far as sizing goes. So anyhow, we'll go ahead and export our STL file to the desktop. And then let's go back into Bamboo and see what we can do here. So we'll click on this build plate, Control I on our desktop. There's our little vanity foot. Yes, go ahead and scale it for me. So that is what our vanity foot looks like. Pretty much just what it looked like in Blender. Now, let's bring it over here. I don't know. Maybe that's all right. As far as size goes, I don't know. Let's put it up against the box here and see if I like it or if I don't like it. So we're going to rotate it this way. And then we're going to rotate it. Nope, too much. We're going to rotate it that way. Okay. So I do want to kind of do that number so you can kind of just visually see. Is that too big? Yeah, I think it's too big. So we'll go ahead and make it smaller. Scale it down a little bit. Do I like that? Okay, I like that better. All right, so what we're going to do here is let's slide it out a little bit. And let's go ahead and take this, and we're just going to shift control our main assembly, right click and merge. And then we can use our assembly tool to put this foot, the face of this foot with the face of that, right? So select it, assembly tool, the face to the face, and zero it out. Step one is complete. So I'm just eyeballing this distance. There's no real set value there. And you can see right now, this foot is flush to the back. It's not going to stay that way, but that's what it is right now. And then we're going to go ahead and take this, and we're going to copy and paste, and we're going to slide it up. And like, I don't know, something like that. You see there? And so then we'll take them both. We'll alt click this one and this one, and then we'll move it. And we know this is 150, right? So we could set that to 75. And now you know that this space is dead equal to that space. So now you kind of see how she's coming along, right? And then we're going to go ahead and take those 2 feet and copy and paste. And it's going to copy and paste. So Control C, Control V. It's going to paste into place. And we're just going to grab our move tool, slide these over, and then we're going to grab the rotate tool, and we're going to flip them around. Back to our move tool. And now here, we're just going to guess. Okay. All right. So I think those have to go in just a touch. So we'll just slide it over just a little bit. All right. So we're getting close, folks. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just set this upright. Okay, and then we can go ahead and move it forward a little bit here. And then we can move Hello Kitty into place. So how do we want to do this? All right, so let's go ahead and let's take all of it. So we're gonna take all of our Hello Kitty bits. So we'll just all click our backplate, and then we come over here and we can add the rest. The head, the bow, and the nose. And we're doing that by control clicking each piece. And then we can go ahead and slide it on back. Like so. Okay, and now we can kind of line everything up. So we're going to use our assembly tool for this. So the back plate to the back plate and zero it out. This does happen from time to time. Drives me crazy. So click this and we click this and this should zero it out and bring that together. But if I hit 0 and enter, so I got to come up here and 0 and hit enter, and it's not doing it. See, it moves it down. It's not supposed to move it down. I don't have a solution as to why it does it. It just does. So what we could do, find out what that measurement is. It's 108.48, okay? So now we know what the measurement is. And what we have to do is select this, and we're just alt-clicking that backplate and go to the Move tool. And we're going to move it in the green axis, 108.48. But you see this number? We have to deduct from that number because we're moving it on the back side of our arrow. So we take our 312, 11, and minus 108.48. 203.63. So if we change this to 203.63, ta-da! That's a real pain in the butt though, but it does happen once in a while. And that's the only way. And the only reason we're doing this, what we're doing right now, is purely just to get a screenshot of the completed project so we can go in chat and tell us to make it a really cool marketing image. That's all we're doing. And then you kind of know how it goes together too. Like if you're selling designs, you can have a completed one all put together. So now we're going to try the assembly tool with the rest of these parts. So let's see how that works. So we're going to go ahead and grab our assembly tool. We'll select the front face and the back face. And you can see it's still 108.48, but we'll hit zero it out, and you can see it did not do that. So yeah, that's kind of a problem. I wonder if it would do it to the back side, because we could make that work. Nope, doesn't like it. Does not like it one bit. So what we could do for our purpose right now, it's just a visual thing. So normally I would not take the time to line everything up perfectly because it's unnecessary. We're just doing it for the visual. So all we have to do is alt click these pieces, grab my nose, and grab our Move tool, and we're just going to slide it forward like this. And let's zoom in a little bit here so we could see this. But all we do is just slide this. See how it's embedded in the black right there? Just move it till it's close. That's it. Like I said, the only purpose was just to get a visual of the finished product. When we actually set up our build plates, then we'll make sure everything is actually properly layered and perfect. So that all we have left to do to get our screenshot here is move our drawer into place. So we're going to go ahead and select our whole assembly, and we have all of our drawer pieces named. We should anyhow. So there's our drawer back, front, and sides. We got our knob. We got our Hello Kitty. And so then we should be able to move all this back into our box. And yeah, maybe something like that. Okay, maybe pull it out, maybe just a little bit more. Okay, so now it looks like that. Now you see where these are overlapping? I don't really like that for my screenshot. So I'm going to just alt click on this. And again, it doesn't really matter too much for what we're doing because we're just getting a visual, but I'm just going to move those sides in a little bit. So we have a little bit less interference there. I don't know really what's going on there. I don't know if I like that. We'll leave it for now. I did forget one other thing that I wanted to do here that will elevate this a little bit. And so I'm going to back up and do that. So we need to grab our drawer fronts again. Drawer, front, sides, knob, and logo. And move it forward again. We need that separate. And what we're going to do is we're going to whack off the front end of this. So we're going to grab our cut plane tool and we're going to whack it off. And we take that little yellow and we can come in and just right there, just that piece, cut the parts and perform the cut. And we're going to click on that and turn that pink. Isn't that cuter? So now we'll go put our drawer back into place. So the drawer back, front, sides, knob, and our logo for our bow holder. And we slide this back into place here. Maybe out a little bit. All right. So then I'm just going to take this whole thing, bring it out here, because I don't want the build plate. And then I just get my angle, what I want, and I like it. So now we're going to go in. I'm using the Windows, I think it's called the snipping tool, to get my screenshot. And let's just call it HK Vanity and save. So there it is. And then let's go into chat and tell it to do something. So we'll bring in our HK Vanity. And what do we want it to do? Well, we want it to place on a vanity desk in a little girl's room with a stuffed kitty on the bed behind. Let's back up here. Placed on a lighted vanity desk in a little girl's room with a stuffed kitty on the bed behind. And on the vanity desk have some kids' jewelry and a silver plated brush. We were doing that earlier, just screwing around. Everything had a silver plated brush in it when we were doing those sorority ones. But you know, when you're selling, either selling files or selling printed pieces, you know, giving them an image of what it would look like, you know, in real life in their home always really helps with the sale value. So there you go. We have a stuffed kitty on the bed in the background. There's our silver plated brush We have some kids' jewelry in the box and on the little tray. So there you go. So we'll go ahead and save that. And we'll hit save. So that's as far as I'm going to take it tonight. What do we have left to do? Well, we got to set up our print plates, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow because we're already kind of late, and IA has some things that she wants to show you in the Tinkercad world. But any questions on what we covered? And one other thing, I know we talked a lot about it before, but if there's something specific you guys would like to see demonstrated, this is just something that we came up with that we thought would be cute, something you could sell, and something fun to design. But if there's something that we're not showing you, and something else specific you want to see, then definitely send us some emails with the details, with the SVGs, with the source images, whatever it is. Tomorrow I've got several other SVGs selected that I think will make for interesting conversions for you. So we're going to do more of that. But so if there's something special you want to see, just let us know and we'll make it happen.
Great job, Kevin. I love it.
Really great project. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me see it. Are you ready? She might be busy working in the background.
I'm here. I'm sorry. My
She's
food was here. I
Oh.
was grabbing my delivery. Yep, I'm here. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Is it cute?
Yes. Huh?
I said, is it cute?
Is it cute? Of course. So now I'm gonna show them how to take that somewhere else.
All right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and alley-oop with you real quick.
I'll stop sharing.
Well, hello guys. All right. Let's see here. So as Kev just showed y'all the vanity. So basically, yes, Andrea.
Nope. False alarm.
Oh, okay. So basically what I want to do is show y'all how y'all can elevate your vanities. And as you've seen the one I posted, I have a mirror on mine. So let me share my screen. Okay, and I'm on the laptop today, guys. I do not have multiple screens like I normally do, so just bear with me today. But let me see. Okay. Oops. We're gonna have to get out of here. Okay, real quick. This right here. So let me see. Where is it at? Okay, is it was? Okay, it's down here. Okay, I think we answered here. Okay. So basically, this is what Kev just showed y'all. Basically, this right here. So what I'm about to do, this is not where it goes. Chat messed that up. That is what I can't stand about chat right there. I didn't want it in the middle because that's not where it goes. But I'm basically going to show y'all how to add, do this, accomplish this look to your vanity. And it can be done in Silhouette and Tinkercad. It's real easy. So let's go ahead. Go over here. Now you can take any images you want to use. This is just to show you how I accomplish it. You can follow along if you want. It's totally up to you. But we're going to start in Silhouette Business Edition. So let's go ahead and come over here and get the ellipse. And let's just get like a rectangle. And you just do it, you know, to your liking, how you like it. So that shape is about right. For me, I like how that looks. So now I'm going to just come and make it a little bigger. Now, Kev said he know his build plate is 256. I have a bunch of freaking build plates, but to keep it to the 256 build plate, you don't never want to go past 9 inches here. So just always pay attention to this number right here on the left-hand side. So that I want to go, I like big. So we're going to go about right here because then I'm about to throw an offset on here. All right, that's about right. I like that. So now we're going to come over here to the right-hand panel and we're going to grab us an offset. And your offset is totally up to you. It's your liking. It's what looks good to you. So my numbers are never, one I could have a 0.220 offset, then the next one might have a different one. So it's never, it's just to my liking, what I like. And like I said, I'm not going to go past 9 inches. So this is about, I'm fine with that. I'm satisfied with this. So now let's go ahead and start coloring this. So he went Hello Kitty. So we'll do this to match a Hello Kitty. No, you can do anyone because he already got a back plate on that one. So we're just going to do anyone. So let me change this. I'm going to go, since I'm doing my row, working on my row sorority, I'm going to just go ahead. So y'all will have this. If you end up getting the row vanity, or if you end up making your own vanity, you'll get this on Patreon. If you're a paid Patreon member, you'll get this back. All right, let me see. Just this piece. Color this. All right, there we go. All right, now as you can see, our oval, our mirror is already starting to form, right? Ooh, that's loud. Okay, yep. All right, I'm cool with that. All right, so now we want to come back on the left side and get us a circle. Let's get us a circle. You can just draw it down like that and uncheck it. I want to make this 4 by 4 because we know that's what size. And you can do any size mirror in here. That's totally up to you. But for class purposes, I'm doing a 4 by 4. That's the hand mirror, that the size we use for our hand mirror. But we're just going to come and click here, click on the inside of the white, and then hold down the shift key and click this one. Click that and then hold the white. Then we're going to go ahead and center that. We want to make sure we get that centered perfectly. So now we got that centered. I'm going to go ahead and click on this and I'm going to color that gray so we know that's where our mirror goes. So now we have the base of our mirror right here, guys. So now it is totally up to you to fill in your areas. As you can see, this would be your design area. This is where you would start importing your SVGs at to be able to bring them over into Tinkercad. But I'm going to add one more offset because this is our mirror. So we need another offset behind that to be able to cut the hole into it. So come over here and get you another offset. And like I said, it's totally up to you. I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that. Now we're gonna color this side. We're going to go inside here. And we're gonna color that yellow. So now, where we at? Oh, right here. Okay. All right. So for our mirror, we're going to use I like the crown. So let me get 48. I want 48. Do we got a row in the house tonight? Is anybody in here a row? Do they got a particular image they want to see on there? If we got a row in here, let me hear you. Hello. All right, I'm going to go with 48. Give me 48. I'm going to take, give me 7. I'm going to take 16. This is how I be, y'all. I'm going to take 16 and 48. 16, 48, and I think 26, 16, 48, and 26. All right, so we're going to come over here to File and go to Merge. Let me get my Divine 9. We'll get the Sigma, Camera. All right, give me this one. We'll take that one. All right, hold on. No, we're going to back up. We're going to back up. So let's go ahead and highlight all that. We're going to move that to the side because we know our images come in big. So let's just go ahead and move that to the side right there. Now let's go ahead and bring our image in. We just going to put that one first. I want the crown at the top. Oh, hold on. All right, make sure it's all highlighted. And I'm going to start dropping it down the sides. And then while that's highlighted, hold down Shift. I'm going to click on the white. And we're going to go ahead and just center this in the middle. Oh, no, wait a minute, go back. Oh, we got to group that to do that. We're going to ungroup it. Just group it so we can, dealing with SVGs, just group it and then we ungroup everything and then export it like we need to. But just to line everything up the way you need to. And then actually, this might be helpful for you guys. When you're bringing in SVGs, I'm going to go ahead and ungroup it. You see how it has all those different pieces right there? What I do is, and it's time consuming, but it helps me with my design process at the end of the day. So I don't care if it adds a few extra minutes or anything. Like, where are we going? So what I would do is I would basically come and click on all the yellow pieces. and we're going to group all the yellow pieces together. So let's go ahead and make that one piece. So we ain't got to keep worrying about all them pieces dragging together. Right click, group. Okay,
You
we
forgot
missing a
one.
piece. I see it. I'm about to go back. So when that happens, guess what? Go click on what you just did. Shift key, boom, boom, boom. Oop. What? Okay. All right. Let's try that piece again. Okay. Now we should have one solid yellow piece. Okay. And then you just come and click on the blue. Do the same thing. Right click, group it together. Then you can pull it and move it and see what pieces is missing. Get that back in place. Let's go ahead and click here. Boom. Boom. Okay. Come on now. Okay. Click here and there. Right click. Group. Here. No. Why did it do that? Okay. There we go. Was that always blue right there? I can't remember.
No, it was yellow.
It was. All right. I thought I just seen that happen. So hold on. Go back. All right. There we go. Okay. So. All right. So now. Our blue one. Let's go get our blue. Silhouette's tweaking. That piece is not grouped. It's grouped in here. So why is that doing that? Right. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move that to the side because guess what? We can line that back up ourselves. We ain't gotta do it like that. Now. Oh, that's what was happening. Bring to the front. You see that? All right, so now let's go ahead and line it back up if you was having a problem like me. All right, now we're good. We got our yellow and our blue grouped together. We're going to shrink this. And we're going to come back over here. And let's bring that back over here and let's size it accordingly. I'm going to go up a little bit more. All right. So now let's go get our next image that we're going to use. Our next SVG. So go to merge. And let's do I like this one. Let's do this one. I like the drip. Sometimes bringing these SVG. If it crashes, just open it back up. It happens. I hate when it happened. That was one thing I always hated about Silhouette. It crashes a lot when you open up SVGs. All right. Now let's just open it back up. And let me show you how easily it is when that happens. Patience. Don't get upset. Don't get frustrated. It's going to be okay, baby. We're just going to come back to design. We're gonna go up here to file, open recovered, and we're going back to 2 minutes ago. Right here. Bam. You feel me? So yeah, we good. Now let's try this again. We'll come out, go to merge. Let's use this SGR. All right. All right, so with the SGR, let's go ahead and grab the yellow. And group that together. And we're gonna grab the blue.
Hi, can I have a quick question? Is anybody's screen frozen?
Yeah.
Y'all screens frozen?
Your screen is frozen. Now you just went away completely.
No, it wasn't.
Your screen share is fine.
I stopped it and restarted it for y'all. Everybody good?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. I see your box moving.
All right. I'm not used to the one monitor doing this, you guys, so just bear with me. All right, so I grouped the yellow together and then I think it looked like the blue. Yeah, the blue was good. So now let's go ahead and just shrink this down. Oop, go back. We're missing a piece. All right. Now let's let's shrink it down. All right, and we're gonna bring this over here. And it's your vanity mirror. You know, you spruce it up, to your liking. You can even incorporate like rhinestones and stuff like that. Around, like, the possibilities are endless of what you can do with these once you learn how to do them. They're fun to make, they're cute, and they eat them up. They love them. They love them. It gives it a whole different look. And then we just gonna come and put this over here, however, line it up to your liking. And then let's go get, I think I want a poodle. Let's go get a poodle. Because I might want to put like a poodle right here on the side or something. So let me go see. Let's go get us a poodle. What poodle I want? I like this one. Let's go get 22. So we're gonna go to file, go to merge. And I want 22. All right, I don't want this. So I'm gonna delete this. I don't want that. And you can do what you want. You can put in what you want. So I'm gonna delete this. And then we're gonna go ahead and shrink our poodle down. And it's all one image. All right, that's fine. Ooh. Let's shrink it down. And
Mania,
Yes.
I have a suggestion. What about like where you have the poodle? What about like if you put SGR
If that's what you want to do, you can put
and
your
then put the
SGR right there.
poodle? Yeah,
If that's what you want to do, you can put your SGR right there. It's to your
yeah,
liking. I wanted my
okay,
poodle right here, so that's
yeah,
why. Yeah, you can put your SGR right there. You can take and you can ungroup these, and you can line the
mhm,
SGR to go up
yeah,
and down like that if you want to. It's to your liking. I'm just here to give you the basics, what you need to accomplish it.
yeah. My brain just going.
Yeah. All right, and then once you get it sized, so you're liking, if you want to add something else over here on this side, you can, just for class purposes, we'll go ahead and add something else over there. Um, you could have maybe put the SGR right here on the side and then maybe did the customer's name right here on the bottom. It's totally up to you. But we're gonna go ahead for class purposes. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna copy and paste, and we're gonna bring this over here. We're gonna flip this. We're gonna flip that around like that. And there you have it. And there you have it. So now once you have, we're about to clash, we're about to crash. Okay, give me a second. Slow like crash again. I'm sharing and reshare. All right, now let me reshare it. Open it up again, guys. All right. Okay, we should be back in business. All right, let's go ahead and recover our page again. Hopefully we got, okay, we got that much saved. I'm cool with that. All right, let's go ahead and duplicate. We are going to flip it. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to zoom out and let's go ahead and put this bad boy in place on our board so we can go ahead and start exporting our pieces now that we have our mirror built and put together. All right, so of course, per usual, we're gonna start with the back. Of course, I have a folder on my desktop called Row. So let me go ahead, just delete these and make it empty. All right, so we're gonna start with the back. We're gonna come up here to File, Save Selection, Save to Hard Drive, SVG. We're going to the desktop. I'm gonna get my Row folder that I created, and we're gonna name this Row Vanity Mirror Back. And then I'm gonna put number 1. And I do that because it lets me know what piece I'm supposed to import in first. I don't do it all the time, but I like to number my pieces because it helps me. But I don't get to do it all the time. Now that might have scared you, and it did just scare me a little bit. It did. You know why? Because remember, we grouped this together. So we got to come ungroup our pieces. So right click, ungroup, right click, ungroup. I think that was Okay, yeah, I was supposed to ungroup that. All right, so yep, so ungroup our pieces. Now let's click on the back piece and let's take them so we can bring them into Tinker. So go to SVG. I'm just going to click on that because it's already in there. Click OK, replace it. Yes. Backspace. Let's go. Let's click in here. We're going to name this row white. So let's go row white, back, and then put the number 2. Backspace. Let's click on the yellow. File. SVG. We're going to name this row yellow. C for circle. And then the number 3. Backspace. Let's get our gray circle. Nope. All right, let's put this row gray here. And this is number 4. Backspace. Now we can, I did ungroup all of it when that happened. I knew it. So guess what? I don't like that it did that. And we're about to crash again. These SVGs, oh. Come on, Silhouette. Don't do this to me. Silhouette don't want us to be great tonight, guys. So I think we're gonna have to find a pivot because I don't like this. I don't like the long gaps in between. So the pivot would be, because I did this in Delta already. I have the pieces already. We just did this step by step. Y'all know how to export the pieces. I think we can just go ahead and move over to Tinker because I don't want to put y'all through this. This is terrible. It's not responding. All right, I should have. Okay. I do. All right, I got all the pieces here from the one I did already. So we're just gonna, because I don't have time for that. So this is the pivot. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and open up Tinkercad. Create 3D design. I will still make sure y'all get the row 1 for class. But the Delta one that I am showing now is for class purposes. So click on import, and that is going to be my SPOR folder. Yes. All right. So let me do 1, 2, 3, 4. I think so. All right. All right. So let's start with the back. So let's bring the back in. Import. Grab your work plane or drop it down. Go to import, choose file. And we're gonna grab the second piece. And click on there. We're going to press D on our keypad to bring it up to the work plane. We're not going to mess with our sizes or anything yet. I just want to get all the pieces in visually. Since we had to pivot, we'll mess with our sizes. Let's go ahead and bring in your first circle. All right, now grab your work plane and drop it on top of that. And now we're going to come get our gray circle. And if y'all wondering how I know, is because I put big boy behind them. Like when I'm in here, I title these things all kind of stuff. But to keep track of my projects, that's how my brain works for me, how I'm able to keep track. But like putting big boy, that's why I know what I'm doing. So let's click import. All right, and then let's grab that, bring that up there. So now, all right, so we got our back, top of our back. We got our back of our mirror, well, the place where the hole goes in, the gray part. Now we can start incorporating our words and stuff. So let's go here, go import. Let's go with, I think it's going to be, let's go with red words. Open, import. Yep, I grouped them all together. That's right. That's right. All right, let's click here. Bring it up to the work plane. All right, so now we got all our pieces in. All our pieces are in. So let's go ahead and get us a work plane and drop it down. Let's go ahead and wrap that up. Go ahead and wrap that up. So now let's go ahead and start piecing this baby together. So we're going to click on the gray one. Let's turn our quality up to 24. We're going to click on the color. We're going to change it to red. Yes, we know the presets are right there, but it doesn't give me the red I want visually. So yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind. So now let's click on the second piece. Turn up our quality. We're going to select white. I will use a preset for white. I don't have a problem with that. Let's go ahead and click here. We know these are red, so let's turn our quality up there. And let's turn them red. All right, now let's click in here because we're going to turn the quality up there as well. And we're going to go ahead and turn that to red. And then the top one, we'll go ahead and turn gray, which doesn't matter really, but we're going to go ahead and turn it gray for now. So now visually you should have your colors together and you should be able to, see it coming to life, coming together. So now we're going to go ahead and play with our size. So those vanities they're not like real big vanities, so you don't have to, go too crazy on size, but you can come and you can grab your red back and you can play with your sizes, your thickness, your liking. It's totally up to you. But for tutorial purposes, I'm going with, I think I used 15. I think I used 15 on mine. So we're going to do 15. Then I'm going to select everything and press D and bring it up to the work plane. All right. So then I'm going to click on the white. Now let's start sizing it. So once I click on my white, I know my white is selected right here. I'm going to come in the middle. I'm going to click in the 10, and I'm going to drop that down to 2. And let's see what 2 looks like. Okay. And actually, that's fine. 15 is fine. All right, so I'm going to drop that down to 2. So now we're going to click here on the words, and we're going to drop that down to 2. And let's see what it looks like. Okay. Okay. I actually want to see what 1 looks like. I like 2. We'll go with 2. So I'm going to go back to 2. All right. So now we got that sized. Let's click on the red circle right here. So you can, it's to your liking. Me personally, I used 6 for that one. And if you're noticing that, just click on it and press D. And then do it. All right, so what happened is pull it up like that. Let's pull it up. Okay, yep, we're good. All right, so now the one inside. So first things first, so we can see how we're putting our hole in the inside, because as you can see, this is going to be the mirror. So we're just using this to cut it out. And the mirror is going to go inside of here. So basically, I turn that into a solid, a hole. And then I'm going to click on the top one, and I'm just going to move it down. And it's the same way we do the hand mirror. Like everything, y'all going to see everything. And I'm going to drop that. Just give me a second. But you just come and you basically, and I'm cool with that. And once you get it in there to your liking, you're going to turn your solid back into your hole back into a solid, turn your solid into a hole. Now we're going to union group it together. And just like that, you got your insert for your mirror to go inside the vanity. All right, let's go ahead. All right, so now once you got everything sized, we can go ahead and it's time to bring it into bamboo. You got your hole cut. So we're gonna come up here and click on export. We're gonna export it as an OBJ. You're gonna click on it, always extract OBJ. All right, and we're gonna come over here. We're gonna open up bamboo. Oh, no, we're not. No, we are not. Slow down, my yay. We're not. I skipped a step. So now, what I skipped was how are we going to attach this? to the vanity. I left that part out.
Ain't that what Red Cook party wings? Okay. I said you would cook right before I go live.
Sassy, you off mute.
So I gotta wait to eat.
So I apologize, guys. I definitely left a step out. So first, we're going to come to import, and we're going to import our vanity. So I just exported it separately and titled it Vanity Back Test, but you can title it whatever you want. But we're going to import our vanity because we want to make sure we get it aligned properly and stuff, right? So your finished model, just like this, because regardless of what, we know this is how it's going to be when it prints. So I'm basically going to come in here and I'm going to get me a square first. And I'm just going to make it any size because I always just end up doing something different. So I just come in and just get me a base. That's it. Nothing special, nothing spectacular. All right, so now we know we're going to print this separate. This piece is going to be printed separately. Okay. So basically, what I want to do is I want to basically come right here and when I get this lined up in here, so let's go ahead and lift this up. And then we can go ahead and click. You can click on that piece and this piece and click the align tool. You can definitely use the align tool. Then we're going to turn this into a hole so I can see. And let's get this pushed in here. We'll align it again. Let's get this pushed in here. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So once you get it in there to your liking, I'm going to click on that and the little stick I just created, and I'm going to align it just in the center this way. That's it. And then once you get that in there, you can go ahead and turn that back into a solid. And then we're going to turn this. Now let's duplicate this. Before you make that choice, let's go ahead and duplicate it because we're going to still need one to be able to print with. So let's go ahead and move that one to the side. Now we take this one, turn it into a hole. And just like we do our necks, our pen holders, everything, it's all repetitive. It's all the same. It's just applying it in different ways. We're going to hold that and we are going to union group it together. And just like that, we have our slit. We have our slit. So our stick will fit in there perfectly. And then you can go even further. I don't do this when I do these. I don't, but you can come over here to the back of the vanity, right? And you can take your stick. And you can look at the back of it and you can just click on it, right? And click here and you can align that right there. So you can see this is where the center of your vanity is. So that's where your stick need to be. Now, if you wanted to be extra, like Kev is sometimes, you can even put an impression right here. But you know, this is where your stick go. You're just going to glue that right there on the back of the vanity, guys. That's it. Just glue it right there. And that's going to be how you attach your mirror to your vanity. But let's go ahead and get this exported. Let's get this exported into Bamboo now because we have everything we need and we can just delete this. We don't need that. So you would basically just export it as OBJ. I already have it. Well, let's go ahead. We're going to do it for tutorial purposes. So me personally, this is how I do it. Everybody has their own ways of how they do things. I would click on my stick first and I'm exporting my stick alone by itself just as a STL. That's it. Okay. So once I export my stick, I'm deleting it. I don't even need my stick no more. So now we're going to export our mirror vanity as an OBJ. All right. So now, I'm gonna click on it and we are going to extract all. All right. So now we can come to Bamboo and open up Bamboo. Go into prepare. We're going to change our colors over here before we import our OBJ. We don't got black. We don't even need 3 colors. We don't even need 3 colors. Just 2. All right. So now let's click on file. Let's click on import. And we are going to import our OBJ that we just extracted. All right. It got our colors. You know, that's number 1. Huh. Okay. Boop. Boop. And boop. Okay. And there you have it. There you have it. Now, move your prime tower out the way. It came over. It does not need to be repaired or anything because we did everything the right way. Sometimes when you do it, if it says repair, you're going to lose your paint. Just go ahead and click repair. When you click on this, the way that I do it inside of Tinker and Silhouette, right? You can right click and split this to object. Split it to part. Yeah, split it to parts. And that will allow you to come over here and just be able to paint it if you had to repair it. Or you can go up there and paint. It's totally up to you. But I'm not going to lie. Since I've been introduced to painting over here in this panel, once you break the model down into objects, it's time consuming, but it's a breeze and you don't have as many issues as you have, and you get the whole thing colored. So when you lose what you lose up here in paint, the time you got to take, you don't get those like crevices. So you got to individually go click in there and get those corners. So that's why the print times be long and stuff like that. So since I've been introduced to this, I have been trying my hardest to incorporate it as much as possible. And I really like it. I'm not going to lie. So now once we get it colored, we're basically, and as you can see, it fits a P1S build plate. So I'm sure it'll fit an A1 as well. Yes, it will. It will fit an A1 perfectly. And these sets, just with adding this to that could take that setup $45-50 more. Like seriously, the possibilities are endless. So now let's go ahead and get another plate. And I'm going to come up here to file and come to import. And I am going to import my stick. And I think that's this one. It is. And just like that, there's my stick. And you just, when it prints out, you put it in there and then glue this to the back of the vanity. And there you have it. You just made you a mirror to attach to your vanity. And let's slice it. Let's see if we need supports. If it needs supports, we can go back and put supports on it. I think it does. And I think the supports I use, build plate only. Because it only needs the supports in this area right here. That's it. So build plate only is fine when it comes to supports in this type of situation. And it's not going to add a whole bunch of print time or nothing like that. So let's go ahead and reslice it. And there you have it. And that's your back. And then you would just glue your acrylic 4x4 round mirror or whatever size mirror you use. You can come in here and get creative with the shapes, guys. You can even get creative to the point where you're printing individually things out and gluing them to the mirror on the outside and stuff. You know what I'm saying? To spruce it up. It's totally up to you. So since you guys seen this, I really can't wait to see how creative you guys get with making your mirrors. Anybody got any questions? I can't see the comment area. I don't know why. I can't see it. No questions? Where's my phone? Oh, right here.
Is the screen froze?
I don't know. I'm trying to see if anybody got any questions. I can't find the comment. Where's the box with the text at? I'm not doing this no more on here. This look weird. Nobody has no questions. Okay. Are they here? No. Where is the area for the messages?
Yeah, your little chat box not in the corner, sis.
I don't see it at all. I've been looking for it for a long time. Like I haven't had it since we've been in here, and that has been bothering me because I'm like, yo, where's my chat box? I couldn't see if nobody was texting anything or nothing. But
Somebody said, wait a minute. Oh, Cav answered it. Will the playback be ready tomorrow?
does this help? Okay, mechanic. Oh yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I got it. Somewhere hidden in the side. Thanks, D. Okay, yes. Playback on this will be on YouTube. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So that was the piece I had to add to what Kev, taught as far as the vanity to show y'all how to be able to accomplish these and add that as a piece. Let me see here. I'm trying to see if I got one already in here. Because I know a lot of y'all been messaging me about pricing when it comes down to it. And I give y'all the best answer I can give y'all when it comes to pricing because everybody's feeling it. Oh my God, Bernadette. Bernadette, wait a minute. Screw what I was just saying. Hold on. Bernie. Don't nobody message me, y'all, because y'all know my screen share. None of my staff. Don't nobody, the team, don't message in there so nothing pop up. Bernie! Bernie! Wait a minute.
I mean, it's all right.
Hold up.
Thank you, sweetie.
Wait a minute. You didn't listen. I was trying to get into something and I literally had to stop. I got on Facebook and seen that and that just took my breath away. Like, hold up, wait a minute. Wow. Okay.
Man, I thought we only used AI.
Show off then.
Now
Well, y'all
everybody
the
using
one
AI.
told us.
Show off then. You know what, Bernie? You know what? You know what? I don't care. Y'all can say if this is, favoritism or something like that. But Bernie, I got to give you a free design or something. You get a free exclusive file because this is the second project I came across this week that has just been stunning. Like, oh
Now,
my
did you just
God.
put little feet on the bottom, or is those the casters?
No, there's the wheels.
Oh, I couldn't quite see it. It looked kind of like just the feet.
Yep, that's the wheels. Oh my God, give Bernie a round of applause, guys. Like, for real. Bernie has been really showing out. I like this. Okay, well, Bernie, that's your second assignment. I didn't know that probably more than 2. You didn't got turned in. And look, guess what? Each assignment.
She been putting in work.
She has been putting
She's
in work.
definitely been putting.
So it's one drawer for each assignment, right?
Yes, it is. But hold up. I just messed up. I'm glad I did that because this is not an assignment, but I'm going to give her something for this. Now, the assignments is for, let me break that down. Yes, because a lot of people's in my inbox. So if you buy the file from us, okay, that is just show your work. We get free files, maybe filament, gift cards, stuff for that. That's show your work because it was a difference in it. Now, homework is stuff that we do in class. So, for instance, like this, this right here, this is homework. So, no, you cannot submit. I'm going to have the row one because it's the row one that I was doing. So, I'm going to have the row one in there for y'all. You cannot redo a row one and submit that. That's not how it works. Because not saying we are saying y'all lying or nothing like that, but there's no way possibly for us. Yes, we would like to trust everybody and think, but because everybody does not stick to the same code of honor, because of that, we think homework should be recreating this in your way. You know what I'm saying? You bring in your design, your creativity to it, not what we already put out there. This was our creativity. This was our thought process. So for you to submit homework, it has to be a piece you created. So for instance, let's go over here real quick. And
Now, can it be a mock-up or it has to be printed out?
it can be no, it has to be printed. I don't know. Yeah, it has to be printed. We got to go print it, guys. What are you scared of? What you scared to print for?
No, I'm not. I was just asking. I just
Oh, all
wanted to
right.
clarify.
Yeah, we gonna print it. Yeah, we got. Yeah, let's show that physical thing off. But
Okay.
where's she at? Where's she at? I seen it. She did some homework too, and I'm trying to find it. And I liked it. It was really cute. It was real nice. I seen it. It was a hand mirror. Hold on. She went outside the box and came up with her own design. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're trying to get you guys to do. That's the point. And it's pushing y'all to learn, but I can't find it in here. Hold on, let me stop sharing.
I'm gonna say, if you go to recent media and just look at the photographs, it might show up a little bit quicker.
I kind of think because she's a paid member, I kind of think she put it in my my Patreon. It's in the homework submission section. Yeah, that's where I think she put it at, and it is. I got it right here. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so we're gonna go over this. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I had to unshare, stop sharing, and now let's go back and share again. So now, right here, All right. So if you are a paid Patreon member, okay. First of all, now we have our homework submission chat right here. This is where we submit our homework. So if you are a paid Patreon member, every homework project you submit gets you an entry in a monthly giveaway. Okay. Every project, like I said, the project has to be your work, not ours. Your work. Now this one right here, this was creative. Though she's still stuck with Delta, she got creative with it. And look what she did. And then she did a triangle mirror. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we talking about. This is what I mean when I say think outside the box, get creative. I have never used the triangle mirror in a 3D model. So she just showed me something different. She just sparked something else. So this is, you know, this is what I'm saying. Like, we want to see some work. We want to see some work. So this counts as a homework submission, guys. This is a homework submission. So each one of these projects that you submit that pertains to a class that we taught, get you an entry in our drawing for the monthly giveaway. If you're a member of his and mine, that gets you, you get additional drawing. Each drawing, it's not, oh, you both members, you only get one drawing. No, it's both drawings. It's both groups. Right here, this is the chat for paid Patreon members. And here, this is the best way to reach me. I will get to you the fastest through here. This is a regular community chat for all because we have a free and paid side of our Patreon. So this is a community chat for all. But paid members, homework should be submitted in this area only. Now, we want you to post it in the group and show your work all. But as far as when you submit it, make sure you type in homework and put the check beside it. That's all we want to hear is homework. But you can put all your work in the group if you want to. So who raised their hand? Yes, Bernadette, baby.
So you want me to submit all my work into the homework part of it?
Yes, baby, please.
Can you show that one more time? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Nope, you good. Right. So if y'all go on your Patreon and click on chat, y'all should be able to see it. Y'all should be able to see it. It's a homework submission. You got the regular 3D trendsetters, and then you got the 3D trendsetter paid portion of it. So y'all should have, if you're a paid member, you should have all three of these. If you're not a paid member, you should only have access to, I believe, this one, the community chat.
I assume it has to be actually printed, not just like built in bamboo and finished, but it has to be printed.
Yes, we want it printed. Yeah. Any questions? Anybody else got any questions? Yes.
Kevin, do your size have a chat too for the Patreon, or is it just do it on 3D?
No, I don't have a chat set up for Patreon just yet.
Don't worry about getting there.
Just in the group for now.
Hey, real quick for Latrenda, if you go to the 3D Trendsetters group and in the search bar put Patreon, you will see the links for all three Patreons.
Now, D has not taught a class yet. You don't have to subscribe. D is an individual designer with characters and stuff. Like, D hasn't taught any classes or any of that yet. We're not making you subscribe to D. D doesn't come on here every day with you guys or none of that. D is just he's added to the team because he gives something else, because people have been asking about characters, and Kev hates characters. I don't do characters, so we needed somebody else that did characters. So that's who D is. But as far as Kev and I, we come on here every day. Now he should be coming on soon to teach Blender classes, but we're still waiting on a date for that. But all right, Kev, do you have anything else?
Well, I was gonna answer. Zach had a question about um, rounding those
curves.
edges over, and I was just gonna show how to do that.
Okay, go ahead. Let me stop sharing.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, me. I might delve into this more tomorrow night, but just generically, just to show you, if we come into Inkscape, just as a refresher, we actually have two pieces here. So just like we did in Bamboo, we have, remember we welded this whole outline together that makes up the sides of our vanity. And then we have this L-shaped piece that is our back piece. So I saved that out as an SVG. And so now what we can do is go into Blender here. So, and then we'll import that SVG. So we come down here to SVG, and it's on our desktop. And there's our Vanity SVG. All right. So if we look over here in what's called the outliner, you can see we have two separate pieces. And this little curve, little icon, shows you that it is in fact a curve. And this is important because we have to interact with meshes. So you can see here we are in object mode, and we have that whole outline selected right there. And so what we can do here is we can right click on it and convert it to a mesh. And so now it's converted to a mesh, and we can hit A to select all of our mesh, and then E allows us to extrude. But see how we can extrude in any direction? We can constrain that to the Z just by hitting the letter Z. And so essentially we're doing the same thing that we did in Bamboo, right? Same thing that we're doing in Tinkercad, right? We're just extruding. And then remember we talked about the three different selection modes of being in the vertex mode, or the edge select mode, or the face mode. So just to show you what we would do here, we'll go ahead and go to edge select mode. And if we click on this edge and we shift click on this edge, you see where that line goes. That line stops right over here. Now the reason it stops right there is because it wants to create little squares for us. So now if we hit F, you can see all that does is add a face there. So we would kind of do the same thing all the way around here. So we just select that, and we're shift selecting is what we're doing. So see how we have both sides, and then boom, we could select that and kind of cap it off there. Then over here, we're going to click here, click the middle one, and then we could hit F. Oops. I'm going to back up one because I didn't get this one, and just cap that off there. Okay. And then same thing here. We can click here, shift, and F. That closes that one off. And we'll come over here. We hold our shift key down and middle mouse button to pan. Otherwise, middle mouse button will let us spin it around. So here, shift click, and we'll turn that one. And then finally this one, this one, this one, and that one. Might have to zoom in a little bit to see this. So we don't want that one, but we do want this one. And back over here, this one and this one. All right, so that closes all that in. Okay, so now to round over the edges of the box, we can go ahead and select the edges we want to round. So there's one. We want to round this one. We want to round that one. and this one over here. So let's just say we just went around those edges. So then what we can do is hit Control B. B as in boy. That allows us to bevel. And then, of course, you know, we did the where we use we can round this off. So we can add segments or delete segments with the mouse, the wheel mouse. If I tab out of that now, you can see how those are all nice and rounded. So then we could go ahead and save this as an STL file that we could then bring back into Bamboo, and physically this would all remain the same size. So if I just go ahead and do that, I'll go ahead and export the STL file. And we'll just call it rounded vanity, for example. And export. Now we did not close off the back of our mesh. So that might actually give us some trouble. I'm not sure. But we would have closed off the back side just like we did the front. Rounded vanity, let's see here. Yes, we're going to resize it. But you can see here physically, so yeah, it talks about our manifold edges because we have that open. But physically, if I go to the scale tool here, this horizontally is 240.01, and that's what this one is also. The overall width is, it's wider because Hello Kitty sticks over the edge, but that box, so if I just select that box, you can see it's 240, and then this box is 240. So,
But you extruded the height in Blender. You would have to readjust that, right? Because it's not the same length as the drawers.
true, you're right. So we know that that's 150, right? So then you could just come in here to the scale, and we're not going to have uniform scale selected. So boom. So now that's exactly 150, you know, this way, just like this one is. But I would, you know, if I was doing it for real, I would probably just, you know, specify the exact dimension in Blender. It's probably a little bit easier to see if it's rounded off here. But you can see here, that's nice and rounded. And if you add 6 to 8 segments, that's the magic number in Blender, and you'll have nice rounded edges. But the box will definitely fit in here. So if we grab our measure tool here and measure from, let's see here, let's get around here a little bit. So if we measure from that edge to that edge is 114. And so our box should be, we select our box here, that should be, that says it's 108. Let's see, oh, we're not really grabbing the right thing. We're grabbing the front. We really should grab this, which is our sides. And so that's 113, and that's where we get the tolerance, you know. This is just slightly smaller than that hole. So we could, you know, if we did want to round it all off, we could do that in Blender and then bring it in here and put it all back together again.
Thank you.
Yep. So we'll finish up tomorrow.
I got
think-
something.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say we'll finish up tomorrow on setting all the build plates up. So we'll walk you through that process, and then maybe what we'll do is that, you know, that sketch, that New York Knicks sketch that we converted. Maybe we'll take that and make a pretty cool lamp base out of that or something.
Yes, Audrey.
I'm sorry. Kev, you are just amazing. You are just amazing. You still, my mind is just blowing all over the place. I ain't tell you no lie. So I'm gonna have to watch this one about 2 or 3 times.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot to, it's a process, um, but yeah, I mean, there are simpler projects, obviously to get started with, but and there's a
Yes,
lot of
sir.
lot of good projects on the YouTube
Uh,
channel.
y'all are really, really cranking them out. Anya, I just want to tell you thank you. You are just amazing, amazing, amazing. Yes, I'm in the paid group, and I'm just loving you both so
Thank
much.
you.
Kev,
Absolutely.
have you been able to work on my file?
What file is that?
The one, the lantern that you supposed to be making bigger? I messaged you a couple times, not trying to be sickening.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll look into it. Yeah,
I know you're busy.
no worries.
So all I had left, guys, I wanted to say thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I see a lot of y'all messages. So if y'all are not our friends, the messages go in our spam. Okay. So every now and again, when I get a breather, I sit down. I sit down and I go and I say, let me go check my spam. So I try to respond to everybody. If when you needed me or what you was looking for, if the time is up, I'm sorry, I apologize. But if you're a paid member, I just showed you guys the best way to get in touch with me, because Facebook, they filter the messages. If you're not friends, a lot of y'all send friend requests. I have been maxed out for years on friends. So I can't accept no more friend requests. I'm not ignoring anyone. But those messages go in there and we can't see them. So few of y'all had some requests that y'all needed done, help that the projects y'all was stuck on that needed help with, and the messages was stuck in that spam area. Guys, please, 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 please message me on Patreon. Also, tomorrow is Saturday. So with that being said, all paid members, y'all know y'all seller ticket is on Patreon. Grab your seller ticket. You can post your items for sale in the group as long as you post it with your seller ticket. Include your website in the post. It's that simple. If you post something, yes, go ahead.
Anya, so okay, the best way to reach you is in the Patreon group. Kev, what's the best way to reach you?
Probably email or Facebook message, either one.
Yes, Bernadette.
I have a question, Carol, for your Patreon for us the entry. How, because you don't have a thing where we could put classroom work, so we just putting it on the page, the site.
Yeah, on the Facebook group. The STL 3D Warehouse Facebook group.
And y'all are allowed to sell Saturdays if your staff sells every day of the week. So their ticket says every day. So if you see somebody post, they're a part of the team. They're so they can sell every day. But as far as members, you guys sell every Saturday and Sunday of the month. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, I'll go ahead and let y'all go. Tomorrow is Saturday. Did we have any? We're not. What was planned for tomorrow? Nothing, right?
No, remember we talked about it earlier.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, yeah. So we'll put the flyer up for our next class. I'm probably gonna come on here for a kickback tomorrow. But Sunday for sure is maintenance. So the next time, if you guys don't see me tomorrow, the next time you'll see me on camera will be Sunday, and we will be working on maintenance. I'm talking about real bad.
Cool. Okay, Kev, I sent you a messenger.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, if y'all guys don't have anything else for me, it's been real. I enjoyed. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. And let us see it. And if you bought the Vanity, listen, if you ain't there yet and you don't want to do the vanity from scratch, the vanity that you purchased from me on my website, you can alter it and put different logos to it, whatever. Different backs, you know what I'm saying? You can get creative with it. So this is, we trying to see something. We trying to see something, which I do. So, all right. Well, I will see you guys Sunday.
Night, night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.